In today's video, we're having a look at this Parkside Performance set of pliers. Like all other performance tools, they come with a 5-year warranty. I paid €10 for the set, so €3 for each pair, which is a great price for the way they look and perform, as you will see in the video. They can cut soft wire up to 4mm in diameter and hard wire up to 2mm. As usual, they are made by Grizzly Tools in China. As you can see, the set is made of 3 pliers. First, a pair of combination pliers. Then, a pair of side cutters. And finally, the ones you clicked on this video for, the Parkside Cobra pliers. As you can see, the pliers look quite well made, with thick rubber handles and decent enough finish. The jaws look well machined, with crisp edges and well sharpened. They open well up to a point, but after that they get stuck. They get really stuck. Good thing that you usually don't have to open them so wide in regular use. First cutting test is done on 2.5mm copper wire, which it cuts like butter. Then 1mm soft steel wire. As expected, it has no issues cutting it. Besides a small discolouring, the jaws are unharmed so far. This is 3mm soft steel wire, which requires a bit of strength, but it still cuts without issues. Surprisingly, it also cuts nails quite easily. Not many combination pliers I've seen that can do this without effort. Again, the jaws look like new. I guess they used some decent quality steel for them, surprisingly for a €3 tool. Now let's test the gripping power by twisting the 3mm wire. Again, the gripping jaws look unharmed. I really like the quality of these pliers. The side cutters look very similar. Same rubber handles, same surface ground finish, same sharp cutting jaws. Just as expected, it had no issues cutting copper and thin steel wire. But surprisingly, it required a lot more force than the combination pliers to cut the 3mm wire. The jaws don't seem affected and they look very sharp. I guess is the way they close together that makes it less efficient when cutting thicker materials. It's definitely worse than the combination pliers, which is weird for a tool that has the sole purpose to cut wire. So one good tool and one not so good so far. Let's see how the star of the show performs. At a first glance it looks similar to the other two, maybe just a bit rough. The sliding mechanism looks very similar to the Knipex one and runs just as smooth. Its maximum opening is 2 inches or 50mm, just as the 250mm Cobra pliers. Now for the not so nice parts, it has a lot of play between the two arms. I don't know if it's only the one I got or it's just designed that way, but it feels sloppy. Also, the tiny bolt that holds the spring is too long and rubs against the moving arm, jamming it. I don't know if you can see it in the video. While this is an easy fix, it is annoying to be there in the first place. And the third flaw, which I suspect is only on my particular pair of pliers, is that the top handle is not put on straight, but a bit crooked to the right. The handles are also glued on, so there is no way to remove them and fix this. Now let's compare it to the original, with which it is, let's just say, very similar. Amazing how the Knipex can perfectly hide behind the Parkside, don't you think? The sliding mechanism looks also identical. On the Knipex it's missing the push button, since it's an old beat up pair I've had for years. When fully opened, the slim handles of the Knipex allow for a better grip than the thick handles on the Parkside. But overall, the Parkside is a great option, considering it's almost 10 times as cheap as the Cobra. Let's just hope they use the same quality steel as the previous pairs. For the first test, I'll try to take apart this old coupling, which is more than 25 years old. Adjusting it to the right size needs some fiddling, but once set it grabs it very well. The thread was really stuck and it had some kind of blue lacquer on it, maybe Loctite. I'm putting all my weight behind it. Look how my workbench is flexing. But the Parkside Cobra grabbed it really well. I guess the teeth are made from good steel after all. I can see an amateur plumber using this €3 tool without a problem. Again, except some discolouring, the teeth look like new, with no signs of wear. Here's a better look at that blue thread lock or whatever it was. Now let's test the gripping power against the original, but keep in mind that the Knipex is very old and has plenty of wear. They both grab the hex nut perfectly, and I can't make any of them slip. Now for a proper test for this kind of pliers, grabbing a smooth iron pipe. They both grab it really well, but the Knipex is slipping a little, most likely due to wear. But the Parkside performed really well, and it seems to be a proper tool for the job. Here you can see where the Knipex slipped, and where the Parkside teeth bit into the metal pipe. I tried the same test by reversing hands, Parkside into the left hand this time, to keep it relatively fair. Again, both pliers performed admirably, and this time none of them slipped. As you can see, they both bite really well into the metal pipe. Now let's test it against two other popular designs of pipe wrenches. They both slipped this time, but I guess it was mostly because of my clumsy handling than the fault of the tools. Again, not the fairest test, since the pipe wrench is much larger than the Parkside, but this is what I got, so this is what I use. It slipped a bit in the beginning, but then it grabbed it really well. Overall, I am impressed with the performance of this Parkside Cobra, especially since it's 10 times cheaper than the original. I highly recommend you grab this set when you see it in stock. Just make sure to look at them properly so you don't get a flawed one, like I got.